There's no such thing as a plateau.
Yeah, I don't believe in them. They're
No?
like, no, there's no such thing as a plateau. The thing is, right, to say I've plateaued in whatever form we take, whether it's on a lift or whether it's you're trying to gain weight or you're trying, for whatever you're claiming you have reached the plateau, you can't argue that you've tried every single possibility to overcome that plateau. If you've got a plateau on a specific lift, on a bench press, right? Come on, the amount of variables we can now adapt to change what we're doing, it's impossible. I think the idea of hitting a plateau tends to be someone without the experience. I think the common one that I see is when people plateau because their intro to training isn't great, but they still build muscle. This is the classic one I see. So listen, if you've never lifted a weight in your life and you start lifting, it doesn't matter if your form's shit. It doesn't really matter if you don't really have the intensity on point. It's still a new stimulus. Yeah. So if it's a new stimulus, you're likely to build muscle from it. So I think people plateau when they get to that point where they're 6 months in, they're a year in, and all of a sudden those newbie gains start slowing down, and they think they've hit a plateau. Whereas the reality is they need to now learn how to train at a higher intensity. They need to probably learn to eat more food. They need to. There's so many things they just need to improve on.
Yeah, I think, a lot of the time when someone's brought up the idea of a plateau to me, it's because they've probably, not been able to progress a certain lift for a certain period of time. And usually those people come into the gym and they do the same thing every time, right?
It's poor program.
I can't bench more than 140. And every week they come in and they try to max out at 140. Well, lifting 140 isn't the issue. The issue is probably weakness somewhere else that needs addressing.
Correct.
Right? It's a technique issue. It's going to be a lack of strength in another department. And it's until you address that issue, then you won't break through that sticking point. And that's all it is. It's a sticking point, because you can't just get stronger and stronger and better and better. It's not, progress isn't linear.
No. And it's not, and it's thinking outside the box. If you're, on a bench press, I'm stuck on 140, right? Well, where are you sticking? Is it going off the chest? Is it getting stuck halfway? Is it the lockout? Because then you can start running a diagnostics. You can be like, okay, cool. Well, if it's halfway up, maybe it's tricep strength. Maybe we can run a block where we bring the grip in and we work on more tricep, where we actually get specific with triceps. Have you experimented with different rep ranges? Have you brought in pauses? Have you tried pauses and other techniques in specific sections of that lift?
Points,
There's too many variables.
Variations
to
of the press.
To just go, I've plateaued. It's like, come on. Like, you have to think outside the box. And that's why I say I think it can be quite, it's just a basic programming thing. I think when people progress to a certain point, some sort of a natural plateau is probably quite normal, but then it's like, well, where are you going to take it up to the next level?
That's it. I think it's more, for most people, it's a lack of understanding of how to progress their training properly. And then when it comes to an advanced lifter, it's probably a case of more variation when it comes to their programming
and patience, because there's the diminishing returns the longer you've been training. In your first year of training, PBs are beautiful. You just a PB every week, basically. But when that stops, how often are you going to get a PB on a big lift now? It's like it's once a year, if that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just done my a 1 rep max testing week this year, and it's the first time I've 1 RM'd in 3 years.
I don't think I did in 2022.
Yeah, I just didn't at all. And some guys
do it every week.
They try and do it every week, right? No shit. That's why you can't lift more, right? So it's CNS is in the toilet.
Lack of knowledge, lack of maybe awareness, lack of experience.
Yeah,
but plateaus are fucking bullshit.
There's no such thing as a plateau. Try harder.